It goes without saying that this is one of the most difficult areas of content in all of Raid Shadow Legends, and a lot of people are really frustrated with it, guys. And what is that? Well, that is Tag Team Arena. Guys, there are a lot of people who really struggle with Tag Team Arena, and today I'm going to be giving you 10 tips to help boost your Tag Arena performance. Guys, you should be putting in your Tag Arena defenses today, so we're gonna go ahead and do that with you guys. I'll walk you guys kind of through how I approach tackling a team. Guys, the rewards for this area of the game are absolutely insane. You can get champion fragments, you can get a free legendary champion, Drexthar Blood Twin. I already have him, so he's not popping up here. You can get a free energy once a week, free shards, free silver, guys. You can even get a void shard, right, if you have enough. Epic skill tomes, and once you get all the way into gold, you can also get sacred shards completely for free, as well as rank 5 chickens, legendary books, all that kind of stuff. So you really want to be progressing your Tag Team Arena and know these strategies so that you can get the best rewards possible for your account. All right, guys, so without further ado, here are 10 things that everybody should be doing in Tag Team Arena that will really help boost your progress. Hold up! Click the link in the description below right now to get a free legendary champion, Bambus 4-leaf, as well as one amazing free epic as you level up. Here are the exact steps you need to follow. 1. Log out of Plarium Play on your PC. If you've never had Raid installed on your mobile phone before, the link will work there too. 2. Click the link in the description and start a brand new Raid Shadow Legends account with a brand new email. 3. Launch Raid and complete your tutorial. 4. You can find Bambus 4-leaf here as well as Ugo at level 15. This is an amazing account start in Raid Shadow Legends, so be sure to use my link in the description below right now. All right, first of all, we're going to go in and set our defense. I already have a Tag Team Arena defense set. We're going to kind of walk you through how I did this, though. Let's take it out. Let's take it out so that I can kind of walk you guys through what we're doing. So the first thing that you want to do is use a speed aura for every single defense. Now, arena speed auras work in Tag Team Arena. As you can see, Arbiter here has a speed aura of 30%. Right? We can also use like Armons, right? Armons is another fantastic arena aura that we can use, right? Your Wukong is a free legendary champion, so a lot of you guys probably have a Wukong. You can use your Wukong, right? You can use your Kymar. We're probably going to use Kymar here in this Tag Arena defense, and that's a really juicy speed aura. You know, it really kind of beats the cat, and the cat here has 19% speed in all battles, but we're going to use our Wukong because that is 28% speed in all battles. You want a nice fat aura on most of your teams. All right, so the next thing you're going to do is you are going to spread out your nukers. So we've got a lot of nukers on this account, right? As you guys probably know, I pull a nuker in every single shard opening video. So the cat is a really good nuker, right? Thor is a really good nuker. I like Calamitous a lot too, but you know, this team already has a nuker, this last team we have, and that's Sun Wukong. However, he's not the best in the world, so I think we can probably throw in another. I'm going to go ahead and use Yakarl the Scourge here. I've been liking Yakarl recently. I'll have a video on him probably coming sometime next week. He's very good. I like him a lot. So now we have a nuker or two on every single team. So one thing you want to be considering when you are making these teams is affinity, right? Defense team, probably, unless you're going for a really fast win, doesn't need more than one nuker. However, if you want to do like another nuker, like Calamitous here, I'd put Calamitous in this team because of affinity. We already have a Spirit Affinity nuker in the first team and the second team, but we don't really have one, and the third team, but we don't have a Spirit Affinity nuker in this middle team here. We have a Magic Affinity nuker. Basically, what the combination of affinities will allow you to do is anything that Thor doesn't take care of, Calamitous will take care of, or vice versa, right? That's why Void Affinity nukers are so good, right? Your Quintus, if you have your Quintus, is really good. Constantine is really good. I think Yakarl is slightly better than both, which is why I'm going to put him in here. But consider affinity when you are choosing your nukers, because it may make the difference between a win and a loss. If you can choose multiple nukers, definitely do that. If you can't choose multiple nukers though. This takes me to my next tip, which is spread out your supports. So you've got your nukers and you've got your speed leads. We got to spread out our supports. So for example, I know that Arbiter is super fast, right? So I probably either want to double down on speed, or I want to take one of my fastest champions and stick them in another team. For example, this is my Padraig here. This team, this third team, is super slow. All right, Padraig is in a Journal of Necrotos. He's my second fastest champion. So I probably want him here in this third team to give a boost. Along those same lines, because my Yakarl and my Wukong are both so slow, we can consider some other form of control champion that is also super fast. For me, when I'm putting in these supports, I consider who's over 300 speed. That's personally what I do. All right, we can choose our Fabian for this team. That could be good. Lady Kimi would be really good for this team because she's very fast as well. We'll probably go with Kimi. What we'll try to do is boost with Padraig, then boost again with Kimi, and then Yakarl and Wukong take out everybody. It's a bit of a one-dimensional team. Of course, we do have crowd control with Yakarl. That brings me to another point, which is choose a crowd control champion for every team. So for example, this team here is actually, this middle team is actually going to be my slowest team now, because we've put my fastest champion in the first team, my second fastest champion in the last team. And honestly, this is probably the most difficult part about Tag Team Arena, which is choosing your champions. Now, I'll tell you who I don't want in this second team, and that's Fabian. I do not want Fabian in this second team. He is a purely go first champion. Probably want Fabian in this first team here because my Arbiter is so fast. Guys, what we're going to do for the second team, we'll probably run Queen of Hearts. All right, why are we going to run Queen of Hearts? Well, because she keeps with our theme. My Kymar is built in Supersonic, and my Supersonic build basically gives you turn meter whenever a enemy receives a buff. Queen of Hearts passive basically does the same thing, except it's a certain number of buffs. It's 10 buffs. So we're going to stick with a theme of cutting in line in case this team doesn't go first. Queen of Hearts is my third fastest champion, so there's a very real possibility that we could go first, but we want to have some backups in case we don't on this squad. So Kymar, Thor, Calamitous, and Queen of Hearts. So what's going to be our last pick? And honestly, the last pick is probably one of the hardest picks in the game because you've gone through and you've used all your best arena champions. You've used like your over 300 speed champions and everything. What I like to do is default to a healer. So I really like to choose someone like Elva, right? Elva is nice and tanky. She's nice and fast as well. Keeps with our theme of going first and everything like that. I like to choose someone like Elva. She's a really good reviver as well. So you'll notice that we haven't picked Armons, and that's a mistake. So we need to go back and figure out where we can put Armons, because Armons is just such a fantastic champion. We got to find a place for him. Now, here's what I'm actually going to do. I'm going to take out Kymar. I'm going to put in Armons. Why did I do that? Well, because the Queen of Hearts passive is actually better than the Supersonic set that we have on Kymar, and we're going to keep the buff strip. We're not losing anything other than the cooldown reset if we switch from Armons to Kymar, because it's already covered in other places of the team, and then we just get more crowd control. You'll notice that we also have crowd control or some form of control on every single team that we have, right? We've got Fabian with the Lockout and the Fears on the first team. We've got Armons with the Sun. We've got Queen of Hearts with buff strips and True Fears. And then we've got Yakarl here with freezes, as well as Lady Kimi, who brings turn meter control. So you'll notice that we have spread out every single thing. We've used a arena speed aura in every single team. We've spread out our nukers across the team. Some of the teams have 2 nukers. Some of the teams have 1 nuker. That's okay, right? We've kind of planned for a go second approach here in the second team, right? If you can't go fast, if you're out of your fastest champions or your fastest turn meter fillers, go ahead and plan for a go second team. We've planned for that. We've planned to go fast on these last 2 teams, and we've spread out our supports fairly evenly so that basically every single team has the capacity to do similar things. Guys, I hope that was helpful on the defensive side of things. Let's go ahead and see what we've got on the offensive side of things. Now, if you're like me, you put in a one-man defense for most of the week in order to drop down and farm your gold bars, which is really useful, especially if you're in the lower tiers. Now, We need to have a solution, though, for a team like this. Dang, this is really, really rough, right? You see the meta champions, Arbiter, Trunda, Hefrak. Ninja's not really arena meta, but Mithrala is. There are even scarier teams, guys. There are even scarier teams like this one. I don't even want to tackle this team, right? As you can see, there's mythicals and awakenings and all sorts of crazy stuff on a lot of these teams, right? Here's another one. This one really scares me because every single team here is fast, right? I can't go first every single time. And if you know that about your squad, you have to pick carefully. Now, you also have to pick your fights. Don't fight the same team over and over and over again, expecting a different result because you will not get one. But like a team like this, right, is very, very interesting because the first two teams are very strong, but this last team is on the weaker side, right? So we have to be able to plan for any and every situation like this. Now, what are some things that you can do to get your tag team arena offense on par with the best? Well, the first thing you need to do is kind of do the opposite of what you did in your defense. Whereas with your defense, you spread everything out in order to equalize and make all the teams about the same strength. You actually want to pool your resources into your strongest champions for arena offense, or tag team arena offense at least. Because everybody else probably has one team that is stronger than all the rest. So, for example, my first team here, Arbiter, Podreg, Thor, and Kimi, right? Very good team, very fast team, right? Arbiter boosts into Podreg, boosts into Kimi, Thor nukes everybody. Very kind of one-dimensional, but it does work, and it works very well. I have put a lot of my fastest champions, a lot of my speed champions in that team because that is my win condition. That is what is going to make my team absolutely strong, right? Now, one thing we could probably do is switch the Cat and Thor here because the Cat is stronger, so there's less of a chance that they cut in, even after all of our turn meter filling, right? The Cat also has the highest attack of anybody on my account, so he is going to be nuking the hardest. That is one thing that I should probably do. Now, the other thing we have to do is figure out where to put this team in the lineup. Which of these teams is going to do the most damage? Obviously, it's not going to be this last team. It's Wukong, Syl, Rathalos, and Duchess. Free login champs, and they're not bad login champs by any stretch of the imagination. They're just not what we have to worry about so much as we have to worry about the Mikage and the Arbiter and the Noelle and the Crixia, right? Those are the threats. Identify the threats in the opposing team and figure out how to counter them. I actually think this first team is the most threatening. Why? Well, they've got Noelle. Noelle has a huge speed lead. Aura, Crixia has the lockout, Frolny is a fantastic nuker, and Georgette is a fantastic nuker. We have to go first to beat this team. There's no two ways about it. However, Georgette is also a very squishy nuker, so the Cat actually goes really well here because he'll just take out the Georgette, assuming he's not in Stone Skin or anything. But that's okay because we have Kimi, and get an extra turn proccing that AoE A1, right? So then the other thing we have to do is figure out what is the least effective team. We've done that. And then the middle team, right? A middle team here, Arbiter, Krokmar, Mikage, Ninja. What we probably want to do there is go with a go second approach, right? There is a lot of buffs on this team, so a Supersonic set or the Queen of Hearts would be really good to be able to cut in and kind of buff strip. So what we're going to do is probably want a bit of a better nuker than Wukong. Not going to lie. We probably want a bit of a better nuker than Wukong, and the only reason I say better is because he is so slow. So we're actually going to take Thor in this team because we're going to cut in. We've got fast champs, but we're going to cut in. And then Thor is going to go ahead and nuke everybody. That should be how it works. Now, this is probably our weak link, right? This is probably it's our second most powerful team, but if we lose any fight, it's going to be this one. And then the last team, we've got a Calamitous and Wukong. That's fine. We don't have a speed lead, but we can change that easily by sticking Wukong in the lead spot there. We've got Morrigan. Morrigan's almost 300 speed, so she'll act as our turn meter booster. Bot Alcazar for some healing, for some damage, and then Calamitous. And then we hit start. So guys, noticed what we have done. We have built 3 teams from strongest to weakest. We used the best combination of champions to tackle the hardest opposing team. We added a nuker, and we didn't actually use Fabian, but we did add control in pretty much every team. We should probably have slotted in Fabian in one of these teams. See, look at this, guys. Look at this. The philosophy worked. We won that battle pretty well. Now, this is the one I'm interested to see. Okay, we do go first as expected. There's the buffs. There's the buffs, okay? They ally attack the Armons, which means Queen of Hearts cuts in. That's really good. And then Krokmar has the AoE, which means we're not dead yet. We're not dead yet. But that doesn't really matter. Yeah, we didn't get this team. We should have probably used Fabian. Yeah, we should have probably used Fabian. That would have been better. Probably in place of Kymar. Probably should have used Fabian in place of Kymar. That probably would have been a little better. And then use Armand's aura. Well, now we can go in and change that though. The other thing you want to do, learn from your fights. Learn how you lost, learn how you won. All right, so then there's this team. And yep, I was right. We are indeed faster. Bad Alcazar putting out the poisons. There's the Necroclism. Right, and then all we have to do is worry about the revives on the nukers, and that shouldn't be too hard, right? Poisons are actually surprisingly effective. I'm a fan of Botell in Arena. I really am. All right, there we go. There's Wukong taking care of the other Wukong. Good old weak hit, and then we win. So that fight went pretty much as expected, guys. That fight went pretty much as expected. So we do want to use our Fabian, right? We do want to use our Fabian for this team. We'll take out the Kymar and stick in the Fabian. I think that's probably better. Do we want this squad? See, this squad is something else. I really want a buff strip here, but honestly, this team could buff strip really well. Yeah, let's see if we go here. I think that this is the strongest team. The Trunda is particularly concerning. We are bad affinity for a lot of them though. So we might want to stick this team down here. You can move your nukers around. We definitely want this team to go against this team because of all the buff strips that we have. We have 3 different buff strips. And then we're not going to go first here. That's the issue. That's why I would put this team here. This team has far more of a likelihood to go first against this squad than it does against this squad. So we're going to probably go with the same kind of combination. But we did a change to use a crowd control champ. We built for speed and we balanced all our teams. Guys, I hope walking you through this kind of helps you, at least as far as building your own tag arena defenses and offenses and everything else. I mean, you have to pick your battles, of course. There will be some teams that you just can't do, and that's okay, right? But, you know, I hope that this guide was helpful, right? Helpful in letting you know. I mean, there we go. There's wins, right? You can even take on these teams, guys. As long as you build your team smart, you can take on even these teams. Yeah, I hope this was helpful. Mithrala, we don't have to worry about. She just might take a while. You really want to just pick your fights carefully and pick what team you use against the fights carefully. There we go. Ha! We sheeped. How did Wukong sheep Mithrala? That must have been the 3%. That's not normal. That's not normal at all, guys. Yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What do you guys think of Tag Team Arena? Yeah, I know it's not the most exciting area of the game, but the rewards are fantastic. Drexthar is such a good champion. And yeah. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for watching. I have been Felrus, sailing the seas of Raid Shadow Legends, and I will see you in another video.